Hello crafty friends, I'm making two cards today using the pumpkin spice latte, and I'm using some paper pads here, the Give Thanks and the Wonder by Crepe Paper. I went ahead and die cut some of the paper in rectangles using Lawn Fawn stitched rectangle dies, just so I could speed up the process for this video. I did pre-color these images using Copic and Spectrum Noir markers, and I did this during the 30-day color challenge for September. So I'm just trying to get placement here. I'm also using the Love You A Latte stamp set from Lawn Fawn here for the little bit of steam coming out of the coffee cup. And the pumpkins were from the mini set So Thankful, and I stamped those out at Michelle XO's house. And I thought that they just made a nice pairing with the pumpkin spice mini set. So I should have done this before stamping the steam, but I decided that I was going to heat emboss the sentiment, "You're the pumpkin spice in my latte," at the top of the card. So I just used my embossing buddy to make sure it wouldn't stick, and then I'm using Versamark ink to stamp the sentiment. I'm going to heat emboss that in white, and I'm going to use Simon Says Stamp Fine Detail White Embossing Powder. This is excellent embossing powder for sentiments in particular. It comes out beautiful. And so I was just making sure not to get it anywhere near the little bit of steam, because I did stamp that with VersaFine, and because it's a pigment ink, it takes a little bit longer to dry. So I'm just going to start putting the card base together. I did pop up this panel here on some fun foam, and I'm going to stick that on as the focal point. So my intention with these cards was to show you how you can make some quick cards using small mini sets and pattern paper. This little piece of wood, this is the paper that I used from the Crepe Paper Wonder collection, and the other two papers were from that fall collection that I showed. It's a bit older, but I'm trying to use up what I have in my stash. So I adhered the pumpkins down, and then I'm going to use some foam adhesive on the little latte cup, and I really like the cup in the brown color. You'll see in the next card that I used some teal green colors. So I wanted to put this little pumpkin behind the cup, so I needed to cut a little bit of it off so that it would fit behind there. And once I got that done, it fits nicely, and I think the three pumpkins just add a little bit of extra to the card. All I did was use two mini stamp sets for that card, and then if you don't have the Love You Latte set, you can simply draw the steam on with a marker. To finish off the card, I just thought it needed a little something else, so I just used some brown sequins from my stash. These are a multi-pack that I just got at the dollar store. And I always like to use a stamping block after I put those on, just to make sure they're nice and flush with the card. So moving on to card number 2, I'm using Perfectly Plaid by Lawn Fawn. This came out last year, and I'm just trying to use it up. I'm using the Smile Sentiment. This is from the Love You Latte set as well. And I just wanted to have something fill up the top part of that circle, and I just cut that out using a stitched circle die, I believe, or just a regular circle die. So in hindsight, I should have done the Distress ink first. I was trying to be really careful because I didn't want the VersaFine to smudge. I believe this is Wild Honey. I did show you which one it was. It's either Wild Honey or Fossilized Amber. So I'd cut out the sentiment, I had stamped it onto a piece of white cardstock, and I used an MFT die. This is from the Blueprints 27 set. I love these banner dies. And I just wanted to give them a little bit of color. I've put my panel there on the card base. And this is going to be another very clean and simple card, but I think it turned out really cute. I'm just going to adhere these flat on. If you wanted some dimension, you could definitely pop this up on foam adhesive or craft foam to give it a bit of dimension, but sometimes I just like making really flat cards so they're easy to mail. So here's the tealy green latte mug that matches the stripe in the pattern paper, and I'm just putting that on loosely. I don't want to adhere it down all the way because I know that I want to put some pumpkins in this little scene as well. So I'm going to tuck that little one behind, and then this little one I'm going to put on the front. And I just wanted to ground the image, so I'm using some warm gray Copic markers here. I believe I used the warm gray 3 and the warm gray 1, and then I'm going to blend that out with the blender pen. And the card is finished. So I hope you enjoyed both of these cards today. I know a lot of people are really happy it's fall. I'd be much happier if it was summer 365 days a year, but for those of you who enjoy this season, happy fall, and I'll see you all really soon in the next video. Take care. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.